There are some mega hints about the Jougan's special abilities that we couldn't catch in the Timeskip scene. Ever wondered why Kawaki did not shrink Boruto's sword in the Timeskip, or how Boruto is gonna get back everything that he lost? Today I have gathered some mind-boggling theories regarding the jaw-dropping abilities of the Jougan that I'm sure you will find interesting. So make that sub button disappear by clicking on it and let's begin. The first theory is a really amazing one, which stems from a popular theory comparing the eyes of Aida, Demon and Boruto. All of them represent different phases of the moon. While Aida's eye looks like a crescent, Demon's eye is half moon shaped, while the Jougan represents a full moon. So what if their ocular powers are also moon based? In Aida's case, the clairvoyance ability could be a reference to the moon observing the earth over its entire existence, similar to how Aida is able to use her Senringan to look anywhere around the world and the past. Talking about Demon's eye, his reflection power could be a straight reference to the moon's famous ability to reflect light. Now coming on to the Jougan's lunar power, what possible ability could it possess which has some obvious connection with the celestial body? Well, before we figure out what it is, let's take a look at another character who also seems to be a part of this moon eye symbolism. I'm talking about Limitless Code and his pitch red eyes that are apparently a reference to the blood moon. The spiritual meaning of the blood moon seems to have a lot of correlation with the character of Code, and if it's not a coincidence, then hats off to the genius of Kishimoto, as it's totally mind-boggling, so hear me out. The ancient Mesopotamians believed that the blood moon was an omen foretelling death and overthrow of the king. In the Christian Bible, it's referred to as the sign of the apocalypse and an indicator of the end times. If Code's red eyes are actually a metaphorical reference to the blood moon, then it seems like his upcoming attack will lead to a cataclysm in Konoha. Assuming the king, aka the Hokage, has already been overthrown by Kawaki, the person who's gonna die during Code's attack could be none other than Sasuke, and here's why. Before Kawaki's betrayal, the Leaf had a really strong alliance to defeat Code and his army, comprising of Naruto, Sasuke, Aida, Demon, Boruto and Kawaki himself. However, since he went out of his line and sent Naruto to other dimension, the Leaf is now left with only 4 warriors to deal with Code. 2 of them are most likely gonna back off and follow Kawaki's plans for obvious reasons, which has brought the responsibility of defeating the red-eyed demon onto the student-teacher duo. Fast forward to the Timeskip scene, Boruto can be seen using his master's outfit, which could be taken as a hint for the death of Sasuke during the Code War. But we know for a fact that Code will sooner or later face defeat by the hands of none other than Kawaki, cause he can be seen using a fabric of Code's outfit in the Timeskip scene. I hope you understand what a major role Code is gonna play in the future and the deeper meaning behind the color of his eyes. Before we move on to the secret moon-based ability of the Jougan, let me explain the 3 symbolic meanings that the pure eye seems to inherit from the moon, hinting at the major role and legacy of the divine power. The first one talks about transformation and change. Similar to how the moon goes under the waxing and waning phases, the awakening of the Jougan will also prove to be a transitioning point in Boruto's life. He will go from being a careless, spoiled privilege to a responsible prodigy who shoulders the fate of the shinobi world. This change can be seen in Boruto's Timeskip design, where he has apparently lost his smile and depicts mishap and setback. The second one links us to intuition and inner wisdom. Just like how the full moon enhances one's intuition abilities and connects them to their inner wisdom, the Jougans Awakening is also gonna make Boruto a wise individual, as this divine power directly stems from a being who has reached a spiritual stature. This is why Boruto is so calm and composed against the person who is responsible for wreaking havoc in his life. He has discovered a divine way of handling his opponents, which does not require reckless rage and rampage. The final symbolism of the moon explains the awakening of Boruto's Jougan in a straightforward manner. Some people believe the full moon can influence human beings and lead to increased intensity and heightened emotions. Implying this detail into the Jougans Awakening, Boruto will need to overcome a roller coaster of emotions before attaining this power. And if you are caught up with my previous videos, you must be knowing that the prophesized loss of everything could act as a great emotional trigger for Boruto. It will not only help in his character development, but also the enlightenment of the pure dojutsu Jougan, which needs to have an intense flow of emotions for the purpose of awakening according to its moon symbolism. Finally, let's discuss the lunar power of the pure eye, which makes it similar to its other counterparts. I will also be covering some of the abilities that you guys have dropped in my prediction post, so stay tuned. I feel like the Jougan has the ability to block other ocular powers. In other words, the ability to erase Shinjutsu. The number one reason to back this theory can be found in the Timeskip scene, where Kawaki and using his Dharmagan and Boruto is holding his sword without the fear of getting it shrinked. Moreover, the moon is associated with the yin, the light that shines in the dark. White color is the byproduct of every color in existence, while black is the equivalent of nothingness. The Jougan nullifying other shinjutsus into nihility is one of the most plausible abilities that it can possibly have. It would be even interesting for Boruto to have his own Susanoo type power, or I should say a Jougan beast, who would give him an otherworldly advantage against his opponents. The only reason I believe something like this could happen is because the writers cannot ride on the hype of Jougan's mysterious origin and debut forever. They must add some element to one of its powers that could break the entire internet, and a Susanoo like summoning is enough for the whole fandom to go crazy. I have come up with a mind-blowing theory for Boruto's Jougan beast, so hear me out. What if the Pure Eye is able to summon Shibai's ghost once Boruto would gain the master control of it? It should make sense cause Shibai has ascended to some higher realm, and if there's somebody in the universe who has consumed almost the same number of chakra fruits as him, Boruto would most likely not be able to defeat that being. So the spirit of Shibai helping the boy as plot armor is definitely a great way to spice up the story. Now let's take a look at some of the theories that you guys have come up with about the Jougan. At number 3, we have the possibility of Amado's pills rewriting Boruto's karmic data through Shibai's DNA. I really like this theory because it would turn out as one of the most unexpected yet interesting twists in the series. Amado using the red karma wielder as the pioneer of his daughter's revival, while the blue karma wielder becoming a subject of his experimentation would perfectly fit the plot. Not to mention his name is derived from the mythical creature Amano Jaku, who is believed to be a sharp trickster. The only problem is that Boruto held the Jougan by birth, and at some point in the anime, Toneri said it will not return for some time, but its awakening role is predestined. So maybe these pills that Amado gave to Boruto fostered the Jougans Awakening in his body. Amado's real reason behind giving the pills could be the revival of Shibai, but little did he know his moves are gonna backfire at him. This gives us some more hint about the role of Kashin Koji in Boruto's life. As I mentioned last time, Koji could become Boruto's mentor during the time skip due to several solid reasons. The Sanin's clone must be knowing the tale of Shibai Otsutsuki and how Amado plans to bring him back. Upon hearing about the pills that Amado gave to Boruto, Koji would expose all his plans to him, alongside training him to master the Jougan. Moving on to number 2, we have a really meaningful theory regarding the Jougan's ability to revive people at the cost of the eye itself. The way the story is progressing, I feel like the possibility of something like this to happen is really high. Boruto has lost everything by the time this fight is taking place. He has lost his village, his parents, his friends, and even his identity because of an orphan that his father decided to adopt. The stupid decisions that Kawaki has made due to the obsession of power will make him take his own life, in my opinion. Talking about Boruto, there is no way his parents can restore this destruction and the shinobi system even after the defeat of Kawaki. There must have been a lot of casualties based on this wreckage of buildings from the future. Only a miracle can fix this unprecedented situation in Boruto's life, and this is when the Jougan's role comes into play. After fulfilling his mission of evacuating darkness from the shinobi world, he won't need the Jougan anymore. The last miracle that the eye would perform for him could be the restoration of everything that was affected by the Cold War and Kawaki conflict. It might even erase the memories of the common people so that they don't have to live with trauma for the rest of their lives. For some reasons, I feel like the shinobi system will be demolished by the end of the series, and here is why I think so. The moral of the sequel could turn out to be something like this: the implementation of outdated regimes and systems can become problematic for the society in the long run. The need to change will always be there, and once the shinobi world will reminisce the havoc wreaked by Kawaki and Cold, they would decide to keep evolving their systems with time. The Otsutsuki technology could be used to create immensely powerful scientific weapons that would help the great nations in times of an alien war. The way Kishimoto was so invested in fusing the cyborg aspect with traditional Japanese culture in his Samurai 8 manga, we can expect to see a lot of similar twists and turns to appear in the future of the Boruto series. Finally, the number 1 theory talks about his synchronization with the Karma seal. The more I think about this one, the more sense it makes to me, so hear me out. Even though Boruto is a 100% Otsutsuki being, the Karma is what grants him access to the millennium-long experience of Momoshiki, as well as some amazing powers and abilities. In other words, Boruto's identification as an Otsutsuki directly stems from his Karma. The way the Jougan got activated in the time skip scene only after the Karma fully covered his face is a subtle proof of the connection between the two. I feel like the Jougan having such a hefty stature in the celestial world has made it exclusive to individuals who possess an extraordinary chakra pool. Boruto in his human form couldn't use this power cause he didn't possess such affinity back then, but even after becoming an Otsutsuki, he cannot use it without the Karma cause that's what empowers him as a member of this clan. I have a question for you guys. Who is most likely gonna have some direct involvement in the Jougans Awakening? Shibai or Momoshiki? If you chose Shibai, click on the left video, and if you went with Momoshiki, check out the video on the right. I will see you next time.